Hey guys, so today I am back with I would call this a cooking video tutorial, but let's call it a kind of thrown together tutorial, okay? Because I was on live with you guys on my cooking page while doing this, and the camera wasn't in focus all the time, so I apologize. But I made a surf and turf dinner for me and the husband using some boneless ribeyes and stuffed mushrooms, fried shrimps, seared scallops. I was gonna make fresh potatoes, but I had to improvise. So yeah, let's get started. So these are my steaks, okay? I paid $33 for these steaks, and yes, I will season them because they are mine. These are boneless ribeyes. I put a little bit of olive oil on them. This helps keep the seasoning on. If you are not into seasoning your steaks, that is okay. I highly suggest you exit this video, okay? Because there's always somebody that comes on my videos and complains about seasoning. If you do not like food with seasoning, do not watch these videos, okay? All right. So once I have the olive oil rubbed all over the steaks, I like to go in with salt, pepper, that's like the basic stuff, but I also like to add things like garlic powder, onion powder, paprika powder. It's usually what I add to most of the meats that I cook. All right. I like flavor, not just meat taste with nothing else going on. Okay. So kosher salt, some coarse ground black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika powder on each side. Okay. And then you just rub it in. The oil just helps melt the salt and let everything stick onto the steaks. And it works for me. I do it with chicken as well. I had someone come on a video where I was baking chicken, and the person was like, all you needed was salt for the chicken. Well, if that's what you like, do that. Why are you on YouTube looking at how to make rotisserie chicken if that's all you need? You know what I mean? It makes no sense, these comments sometimes. All right, so once you have your seasoning rubbed in, this part I'm just going to speed up. This is the other side, so I season both sides. Okay, you can use seasoning salt if you want to. I would suggest not to use seasoning salt and kosher salt. It's just going to be a very, very salty piece of steak. Okay, even though I like flavor, I don't like salty meat. Okay. All right, so I season them up, and this is how they look. And we're going to use our cast iron today, which is very old, but it's seasoned well. It has some butter in there. Okay, it's not on right now, but we're gonna wait to put these steaks in. We're just gonna prep a few things. So what you're gonna need is half a stick of butter. Okay, here we're gonna make a compound butter, they will call this. So just a half a stick of butter. Use salted butter. I used unsalted butter. I wasn't paying attention. And you're going to add some herbs in here, whatever herbs you like. This is thick leaf thyme. It's a herb that is used in my homeland or my birth country. And I also use some oregano and two little pieces of rosemary. I like rosemary, but not a lot of it, okay? So all of this came out from my garden area. And I'm just going to chop this up really, really, really fine and add it into my softened butter. Did I say melted butter? I mean softened butter, okay? So half a stick of softened butter, salted. I used unsalted, but I did add salt to it, okay? So if you don't want to add salt, just use salted. Or if you are watching your salt intake, use unsalted and add the salt that you like. So the only thing I added was some garlic powder to this and a little bit of salt, and that was it. I mixed it up really well, and I also added some dried parsley flakes. We're going to add this compound butter on our steaks when they are done. There's no measurements used when I regularly cook. So add a little bit. If you want more, add a little bit more. You can always season to your liking. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start cleaning our shrimp. I'm going to take off 90% of the shell and cut the back open, take out that vein thing, gross thing, and butterfly the shrimps. I'm sorry I went out of like I guess, focus or out of the view of the camera's lens. But what I do is just slice down the back of the shrimp. These are extra jumbo shrimps or extra large jumbo shrimps, whatever you want to call them. And I just clean out the backs of them, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to use one egg white, not the yolk, just the egg white, and we're going to just mix that up a bit. It's gonna look frothy when you beat it with your fork. Okay, we're actually gonna season the egg whites. So just some salt and pepper. Okay, you can put a little bit of paprika in there and onion powder and garlic powder if you want to. And if you guys notice, I use either a dash or two. So season again to your liking. I'm only making 6 of these extra jumbo shrimps and only using 1 egg white. Okay, so I added some regular black pepper in there, not the coarse ground, just regular. So regular black pepper, a little bit of kosher salt, okay, some garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. I like my food to have flavor and taste. I know some people like to use a whole bunch of different seasoning salts, and some people don't like to use anything at all. This is why you can customize what you make at home to your liking. Okay, so this is how it's gonna look, frothy. And then you're gonna go ahead and add the shrimps in once you're done. The reason why we're only using egg whites is so that the shrimp stays crispy. All right, so for, I guess, the flour part of the shrimps, I'm using 1/4 cup of self-rising flour and 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And we're also going to season that with salt, a little bit of salt, pepper, paprika, a little bit of paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. Remember, like I said, season to your liking, okay? I'm not huge on measuring, but I could tell you to season to your liking. Always just add a little bit. If you want more, add more. I'm also using these panko crumbs. They're Italian seasoned panko crumbs. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these shrimps into the flour, the seasoned flour mixture with the panko crumbs. And we're just going to completely cover these and let them just sit in the flour. Okay, just leave them there. Don't fry them right away, just leave them right there. Okay, for the scallops, I am just gonna season them, same thing, salt, pepper, paprika, and that's about it, nothing else. If you want to add anything extra, go right ahead. Okay, but I must say, with the small amount of seasoning that I put on the scallops, they tasted amazing, and I'll show you why once I start cooking them. So this is how your scallops should look. You know, rub them, rub the seasoning into them. And then for the stuffing for our mushrooms, because we are making stuffed mushrooms, I'm using a 1/2 pack of softened cream cheese. We're also going to add just a tiny bit of seasoning. I'm just adding some black pepper in here. Okay, just a little bit of black pepper, a little bit of salt, and then we're going to go ahead and add in our extra cheeses. I am using Parmesan cheese, shredded. You can get the block if you like and grate it yourself. I'm also using white cheddar, sharp white cheddar, and I'm also using a Italian blend shredded cheese. Okay, and I'm using about, I want to say, a little bit more than a 1/4 cup of each one of these cheeses for the mixture. Okay, I'm just making enough to fill the mushrooms that I have. And I tried to pick out the biggest mushrooms I could find, and I got so lucky. They had some nice, huge, big ones that tasted amazing. So just so you know, just so you know. All right, so a 1/2 cup, I mean a 1/2 pack of softened cream cheese, about 1/4 cup of all 3 cheeses, Parmesan, sharp white cheddar, and the Italian blend shredded cheese. Okay, and you're just gonna mix this up or combine it. You want it all to be mixed in together with the cream cheese. You want it to be, you know, creamy, so you can easily work it into the mushrooms. So this is how it should look. All right. All right, so these are the beautiful white mushrooms that I got from Wally World. You can get them wherever you like. And I'm just going to take out the inside part right here. I'm not throwing these away. I will use them later to add to the top of my steak. And this is how it should look. To clean mushrooms, I simply wash them off with room temperature or cold water, and I dry them off. Okay, I know there's some uh, articles on Google that says to wipe the dirt off, but that's just, I'm not wiping the dirt off. I'm washing the dirt off and then I'll dry them off. All right, so as you guys could see, I made just enough filling for these mushrooms. I had about 6 mushrooms. I want to say 6 or 8 mushrooms. And I did add extra cheese filling to each one of the mushrooms. That was just left over. All right, and I must say they're delicious. My husband really enjoyed them. So yeah, just give them a try if you like stuffed mushrooms. If you don't like cream cheese, you could just do it with just regular cheese, and then forget the forget the cream cheese. Okay, um, it's been a while since I've done a cooking video for you guys, but you know what I mean. So for the core, I will call these, the part of the mushroom that I took out to make it hollow, I'm just going to chop these up, and then I'm going to slice some sweet onions, and these are going to be, you know, cooked in the cast iron once the steak is done. This is a elephant garlic clove. They're very large. I'm only using half, and I'm going to show you guys what I will do with this. This is going to be basically sauteed or cooked after the steaks are completely done. So we're just prepping all of this stuff. So when you cut that up, don't worry about it. Don't look like, what am I doing with this? Just put it to the side, okay? We're just prepping things as we go. Now that you got most of your prep work done, you could go ahead and put your steaks into your hot cast iron. What we're going for is a nice sear on each side. Give it about 3 to 4 minutes, okay? And then I finish them off in the oven. Depending on how you like your steak, you could do rare, medium rare, or medium well, or well, whatever it is that you like. My husband prefers his more on the medium well side. I can eat the medium well, so long as it's not like completely cooked to the point of, you know, no pulse. All right, but you know, I know there's some people who do not like any type of pink in their steak, okay? But we're not gonna overcook these steaks. They were very expensive, and this is just my husband's Father's Day dinner, really, because he missed Father's Day because he had to work, okay? Um, so yeah, here I'm quickly making my box mashed potatoes. I was going to make red potato, garlic mashed potatoes, but my potatoes got ruined because of the way they were stored by one of my children. So I had to toss those out. So improvise, use box potatoes. I do not follow the directions on the box of the instant potatoes. Okay, I do my own thing. So I just add water in there. I just eyeball everything. I add water. I add half and half instead of milk. I add about 2 tablespoons of butter, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I bring that to a boil, and then I add in the mashed potato flakes, I guess. It's basically dehydrated shredded potatoes, and it all becomes potato again once you get it, you know, into your milk, water, butter mixture. Okay, I feel as though when I do my own thing, my potatoes come out better than when I follow the directions on the box. They just taste very strange to me when I follow the directions on the box, and when I do my own thing, they taste like regular mashed potatoes. All right, so you know, I eyeball, but I suggest you follow the directions because I don't really have a measurement that goes with how I make my instant mashed potatoes. I just eyeball it, okay? Um, just don't add too much water than potatoes, okay? Does that make sense? Or you're gonna have like a weird mushy potato soup. I also like to add some butter right on top of the potatoes once I'm done with them, and just let that melt in there. And then by the time my steak and everything is ready, the mashed potatoes is nice and buttery and just really good. So my steaks are seared on both sides. I'm going to pop these into the oven. The oven is on about 350 to 375, depending again on what you like as far as your steaks. You can leave them in there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you want them done. Okay, so here in a pan I'm adding some butter. It's about a tablespoon, and we're going to sear our scallops on both sides. And you want it like medium high heat, and it takes about 2-3 minutes on each side. Okay, you just want a nice sear on both sides. Okay, And this was my husband's first time eating scallops, and he actually really enjoyed them. He's not too into seafoody type things. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, you saw that I put a little bit of that garlic butter in there. That's what made them taste extra better. I'm telling you guys. You don't need the garlic butter just for the steaks, okay? But it is made just for the steaks. But you could add some in your scallops, okay? So here are our shrimps that we rolled or dusted in our seasoned flour breadcrumb mixture, and we're now going to fry them. This is oil that I've used a few times before. I keep my frying oil because oil is expensive, and if you look around, everything is expensive right now, especially with everything going on in the world. So no, we're not throwing away the oil. We're going to reuse it. We're going to strain it, put it in a bottle, and reuse it. So long as it doesn't smell stale, you're good to go. All right. Make sure it cools down first, though. Don't try to put hot oil in any container. All right. So we're going to let our shrimps cook for about 3-4 minutes. Okay. They cook really fast, especially when they're butterflied and they get thinner. Okay. But as you guys can see, they're very beautiful and golden brown. My heat was on medium high. Okay. Try not to put your frying oil too hot, or else you're just going to cook the outside faster than you will the inside. And here are our mushrooms. This is how they look. I'm going to take these out, add a bit more cheese to the top, some of the white sharp cheddar. Just add a bit to the top. I'm going to bring them a little bit closer together and then sprinkle a little bit parsley on top, just for a little bit of color. All right, once I have that done, I'm going to put these back in the oven just for a couple of minutes so the cheese could melt with the parsley. Okay, and if you don't like cream cheese, you can definitely do this without. I just love the creamy texture of the cream cheese mixed with the three cheeses, or two cheeses and the cheese Italian blend. So here we're adding the garlic butter mix that we made on top of the steaks when they're done. And this is gonna leave such a good, delicious taste on it. I promise you it will. If you can't find broadleaf thyme, just use regular thyme that they sell at the store. It has a similar taste, okay? I'm going to get my steaks out, put them on my plate, and then we're going to go in with our chopped up mushrooms and garlic and saute those, and then lay down our onion slices. Okay, and you just want to sear, well, lightly cook or sear them. Not lightly cook them on both sides until they get some color. So we're just going to put this mixture on one side of the pan while it's on. Okay, I put it on medium heat, and as you guys can see, I put some thyme in there, 2 sticks of regular store common thyme, and we're just gonna let that cook just a little bit in the juices of the steak. All right, once I have that covered, and I'm sorry if I'm not making any sense sometimes, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to. It's been a while since I've done like a cooking video, and I know I always say that in the videos, but it has, like, pregnancy has really, really, really taken up a lot of my energy. All right. And this is a good excuse this time. All right. So as you guys can see, I stirred the mushrooms and the garlic with the thyme around the pan to soak up those juices. And then now I'm putting in the onions, and we want to cook those on both sides until they get nice and soft. Okay. So our mushrooms are done. The cheese has melted along with the parsley, and this is how they look. Okay. And then now we're going to flip our onion. Try to not let them come apart like me, okay? The steam and the juices that are in the pan from the steak, the cast iron pan, are going to season these, so you don't need to add anything extra to the onions or the mushrooms, okay? But if you want to, you can definitely do that. It might just be a little bit too salty, but the pan has a lot of seasoning from the steak drippings and the butter. So you don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Just have fun with cooking, you guys. Like, I know sometimes things can seem intimidating, but just have fun with it. Always season with a little bit at first, and if you want more, you could taste. It's your own food. Add more to it, okay? Here I decided to go ahead and add some of the leftover garlic butter on top of my onion rings. Well, not, not fried onion rings, but the onion rings that I sliced, and on top of my little mushroom medley there with garlic and thyme, and this is just gonna add more depth, more flavors to what we got going on in the pan already with all the other flavors that were already in here. Okay, so now it's time to plate. I already put the steak and potatoes on the plate. You guys know I eat with my eyes first, so I like a nice looking plate. I need my plate to look appetizing. All right. I mean, it doesn't make sense to put all this time and energy into making food and just slopping it onto the plate. You know what I mean? Make it look a little pretty, you know, have some pride in your work, your little masterpiece, okay? So now I'm gonna lay down my beautiful shrimps. I absolutely love the way they turned out. Okay, 3 shrimps for each plate. And we're just gonna place these right next to the potatoes, wherever you want, you know, you put it however you like, whatever looks nice to you. Okay, I'm trying to put it in a little fancy schmancy way. I am stacking up my onions here. They're cooked perfectly. They smell amazing. I love onions and steak and potatoes. I don't know what it is about that combination, but they taste so good together. All right, once I have the onions on there, I'm going to go ahead and add my scallops. You're probably hearing the kids in the background and the vacuum. They're doing their chores. Of this voiceover, not the cooking video. The video, it was later in the day, but right now doing the voiceover, my kids are doing chores, and it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, if you hear that, that's them. All right, we're going to go ahead, pile on our mushrooms that we fried up or cooked up real quick in the cast iron. Okay. And just make everything pretty, you know, get a little paper towel, wipe off all the smudges so it looks nice and presentable. Okay, especially if you're trying to impress somebody. Okay, and add your mushrooms as well. I did 2 mushrooms at first, but I ended up eating 3. Don't tell nobody. Okay, okay. Hey, I'm pregnant. I can have it all right now. And I'm not really gaining much weight during the pregnancy, so I'm trying to actually gain a little bit of weight, but it's not really working out much. Okay. All right, so this is almost done. We're gonna go ahead and add the final piece to this, which is the gravy, which is pan sauce dripping from the scallops onto the mashed potatoes. You're just gonna make like a little well, a little hole in the top of the potatoes and add in that yummy pan sauce. And this is pretty much it. I'll show you guys an after, which you already saw in the beginning part of the video, but loved how this turned out. Remember, season your food to your liking, okay? You do not have to follow everything 100% to what I do. You can always customize things to your liking, okay? I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your dinner or lunch or breakfast, and I'll see you all very soon in another video. Bye, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Share it if you like as well. Bye.